Coming up, Nigeria's gross domestic product grows by 2.38% in real terms in the fourth quarter of 2018. South Africa's unemployment rate falls to 27.1% in the fourth quarter of 2018. Plus, Algeria's Sonatrach signs $1 billion gas plant deal with India's Larsen and Toubro. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Business Incorporated. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago. First, we start off with the markets. And the Nigerian stock market reacted positively to the GDP numbers released today by the National Bureau of Statistics, which shows that the economy grew by 2.38% in fourth quarter of 2018. At intraday, the index was as high as 1.30%. The JSE index was also up 1.04%, while the EGX 30 in Egypt went up 0.95%. In the Middle East, Saudi Arabia stock market was the only gainer at intraday on the back of gains in banks amid recovery oil prices, while Abu Dhabi was pulled down by its financial shares. The Saudi index was up 0.26%. The Abu Dhabi index was down 0.44%, with Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank shedding 1.9% and Abu Dhabi Aviation sliding 6.8%. Qatar fell 1.33% and Dubai was down 0.46%. And in Europe, stocks were moved higher in the morning as investors monitored trade and political developments. Well, the oil market is also being monitored by equity investors. Let's bring in Ulrich now to tell us more. Hello, Ulrich. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Oil prices have come down since its high in early October, but in 2018, the major oil companies certainly had a very good year. How good?
Extremely good. They made a profit of together over $80 billion. Excuse me, it was almost 80 billion, but it's still a big number. These were the companies Royal Dutch here in Europe, BP, Total of France, and in the United States, Chevron and ExxonMobil. And they've, of course, profited from a higher oil price for the year. If you take it at a yearly level, averaging out at $71 per barrel in 2018, and the year before it was clearly lower at $54. But even at lower levels, the oil companies are able to improve their bottom line and still make a healthy profit. This after having severely cut costs and also cut investment after the oil price plummeted a few years ago, and they took their lessons from that, and now they're able to earn, of course, the more the oil price rises, the more money, but even when it's not that high. Now, oil price has come back. It's now around $62 if you look at Brent, as you well know, in Lagos. But the oil companies will still be able to make good money from that. It'll be interesting to see whether at some time they will step up investment, not only in the interests of jobs, but also in the interests of course, all the customers from the oil companies wanting the demand that at some time is there to also be satisfied by operations being in place.
Now, oil prices impacted on inflation in 2018, but still, the ECB did not move and will probably not move for quite some time on rates in the Eurozone. Philip Lane, the incoming new chief economist of the ECB, has spoken up about the current economic environment and what that means for the ECB and the Eurozone. What was the main point he made?
I think the main point is that he said that one shouldn't be overreacting to individual points of economic data that are flowing in. I think he's pointing to all the forecasts downwards of the economy that have been happening not least because of the looming geopolitical risks. Trade, for example, the trade dispute, and Brexit, those just the two major ones, I think, at the moment, but surely not the only ones. Growth in China also there. I think Philip Lane, the incoming chief economist of the ECB, is saying that the situation is probably better than the mood, and factors currently suggest an economic downturn, but that's probably temporary in nature, is the gist of his message. Philip Lane, only 49 years old, Irish central bank governor, at the moment after having been a professor at Trinity College. Harvard educated, a PhD from there, an interesting addition to the executive board of the ECB right here in Frankfurt.
And it looks like it's more trouble for Nissan, rocked by scandals surrounding former chairman Carlos Ghosn. Now, 9 months' results came in considerably lower. Tell us about the numbers.
Yeah, Nissan really looking back at a troubled year. The 9-month results showing a profit drop of a whopping 45%. That's not due to Ghosn, that number. It's due to slacker demand. It's due to customers looking at the cars and saying, yeah, we're going to hold back a little. Business in China and North America slower, but especially North America and Europe, Nissan says. And they've downgraded their forecast for profits for the whole year from 500 billion yen to now 410 billion yen. That's still a good number. It translates to 3.7 billion euros, but it shows that Nissan is not in a good place at the moment, and especially with this Ghosn scandal. I mean, they've replaced Ghosn now at the head of the Nissan board, but they're still looking at a power struggle with Renault, and it's anything but a good situation at Nissan at the moment.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Ulrich. Enjoy the rest of the day.